Good morning and a warm welcome to coverage of the fourth and final day, live from Southport and Birkdale Cricket Club of Lancashire against Hampshire in the LV County Championship. Scott Reed and Kevin James with you for however long it may last on this fourth and final day. It's another lovely day. It's breezy again, but it's beautiful weather. Lancashire need 92 more runs to win the game as the players head out, and they have 8 wickets remaining to try and get 92 runs to win. Lancashire coming into this fourth day, Kev, firm favourites, but you never know.
Yeah, good morning. Yeah, well, we thought last night it would be, might even been over last night. But we sort of said, well, you never know, 2 early wickets and it might just be a little bit more interesting. Well, there were 2 early wickets. Bohannon and Villas then steadied the ship. But Villas was dropped in the slips by James Vince. Wasn't easy, but it wasn't particularly difficult either. I think if another wicket had fallen last night, then I think we might have been talking in a slightly different way. But yeah, Lancashire definitely favourites. 92 isn't a lot, but again, a bit like last night when they started their second innings. 2 early wickets this morning, and you just never know. Indeed,
I think Dave Villas and Josh Bohannon, as here they are, the 2 overnight batters coming out. I think these two kind of settled things down a little bit last night, because it could have got a bit fruity, couldn't it? Really, with those 2 early wickets and 5 for 2, and plenty was happening, and Abbas and Barker were perhaps trying to make up for what they missed out on in the Lancashire first innings. But of course, Villas was dropped, wasn't he?
Yeah.
By Vince, so 3 down overnight. But there was a sense, I think, that these 2 batters, Bohannon and Villas, did just kind of take the sting out of that bit of momentum that Hampshire were starting to build, or that bit of pressure that Hampshire was starting to apply.
And they needed to, and they did exactly that. Yeah, 15 overs last night, which is always a tricky time to bat, and 15 overs as well. And when you lose 2 early wickets, it's imperative that the 2 batters out there just stay till the end. Doesn't matter, even though they scored 48, it wouldn't have mattered if it had been 28. The fact that there was only 2 down at the end was quite important. It means that Lancashire, as they always really have been from fairly on in this game, are in the ascendancy and should complete victory at some point today, maybe somewhere near lunch, as Abbas comes in. First ball of the morning. Villas prods forward. That goes out into the covers. So Lancashire, without a win in the championship so far this year, are just probably a couple of hours away at most from completing victory. They've played well, and as well as Hampshire have come back into this game. Really, it was the first day and a half which has set Lancashire up into this situation.
Yes, it was a good fight back, and I'm sure will take a lot from the character they showed with the bat second time round. But as you say, Lancashire have been the better team across the piece.
Yeah, they have. Abbas comes in. There's the first runs of the morning as Villas just strokes that out to point. And he will move on to 25. 24, tell a lie, according to the score. It's 49 for 2. Of course, it is only 1 run added. It's boiling hot again, and I have to say, in a way, it's, as much as it's been lovely here, I think the thought of going through the whole day with massive temperatures, it's quite nice to think that actually we'll only be here for at max half the day.
Yeah, there's an extra breeze today. Just feel a bit windier today.
It is, isn't it? Yeah. Umbrellas are being tested here. Abbas bowls, Bohannon in behind that one.
We couldn't really have asked for better conditions across the 4 days. I think everybody at Southport and Birkdale have been pretty happy with how it's gone, and enormous credit to everybody connected with the club for playing host again to this fixture. They've done an absolutely outstanding job, and that's right across the board, from the very top kind of chairman right the way down, isn't it? Everyone's been
it's been fabulous. Yeah, it's been very enjoyable. As Abbas bowls, Bohannon will get a single as it's gone out to that same area. There is a deep point. Hampshire happy just for the batters to get a single. Don't really want to be conceding boundaries so early on, which will set the tone. Even if they just get the odd single here and there, they're just looking for just that one that moves and just pick up the wickets. That's what's important. 50 for 2 then. Lancashire their target of 140 to win this game. Probably see in the background there, if you're watching the live picture feed of Dane Villas, plenty of empty seats today. The crowd a little bit down. Probably one or two have thought, well, it's not worth coming for a couple of hours, but it is free entry today. If you're in the locality, as Abbas bowls, he's well down the wicket there, Villas. Yeah, free entry today, so still plenty of time. We'll probably go to somewhere near lunch, obviously depending on the state of their of the reply from Lancashire. It could go just after lunch, but I think most people here feel that maybe sometime just before will probably be about right. So still a couple of hours, or just about that, play in this game as Villas plays that into the ground. End of the first over this morning. Lancashire have added 2, which means they need another 90. I mean, most of the sessions so far in this game, the runs have been just over 100 or so. But of course, we're in a very important session here for both sides, so there may be... Maybe the run rate might drop a fraction as the importance of the situation really begins to hit home. 17 for Bohannon, 24 Villas. Last night, Salt for 3 and Balderson for 2, the 2 wickets that fell. Keith Barker, the left arm over all-rounder into the attack. He was the one that picked up the wicket of George Balderson last night. That's picked up Phil Salt. Here we go then. Here's Barker over the wicket to Bohannon. Ooh, has he edged through to the keeper? There's a shout, and not a very convincing shout. What's that on the replay? I suppose it won't really show much unless there's a massive deviation, but that looked a very good delivery indeed. Great line, first up to Bohannon, ball coming across him. Made the batter play. Maybe the bat just flicked the pad as it came through. I guess Hampshire might just appeal for anything that they're not sure about. You never know. Here's Barker again and bowls. Bohannon drives. Now Dawson's out at deep point this time. He's got to run round to his left. We'll keep that down to 2. And the Lancashire total in their second innings moves on to 52 for 2. Big news of the morning, not just that Lancashire might win this game, is that the allocations for the period of international matches between 2025 and 2031 have been announced this morning. Venues have found out exactly who they have in that period. That's pushed back by Bohannon down the ground, and it's good news for Emirates Old Trafford, and it's certainly good news for the Ageas Bowl down south, who have their very first Ashes Test match, men's Ashes Test, in 2027. And to top that off, they've also got a women's Ashes Test in 2031.
Super.
Which is great news for them. I know they're very excited down there. I've already done a couple of pieces talking about that, because that was announced at 10:30 this morning. Great excitement down there as Barker bowls. Bohannon pushes forward. It goes out to Weatherly at mid-off. And Emirates Old Trafford, well, you usually get a pretty hefty allocation, don't you, really? Although it looks as though, we had a quick look, didn't we, at each year of the allocated matches, and it looks like the Ageas Bowl might have nicked your test match in 2027.
How rude.
Do you reckon?
That's outrageous.
Yeah. Well, you haven't got one in 2027, have you?
No. Back for 2031, the men's Ashes Test match at EOT.
Barker bowls, that's outside the off stump. Bohannon leaves.
But they have been awarded 40 days of major match cricket, including 5 men's Test matches, 10 men's international T20 matches, as well as 5 white ball women's internationals as well. So an awful lot of international cricket, both men's and women's, set again for Emirates Old Trafford.
Barker bowls, Bohannon leaves that one alone. Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty hefty number, isn't it? I know you guys are used to that. It's interesting. The last allocation was only from 2020 to 2024. This is longer. This is 25 to 31. The Aegeus Bowl have gone from 7 days of international cricket in the last allocation to 35.
Nice.
So that is a massive increase,
huge, isn't it? Yeah.
Including their first Ashes test, as I was saying. Barker bowls to Bohannon. Pushes forward, goes out to Felix Organ at point. That's the end of that over. 54 for 2, and 86 are needed by Lancashire.
Yep, so I think both, I'm pretty certain that both clubs will be very, very pleased with the outcome of all that. That's a lot of international cricket, isn't it, to be staged both at Emirates, Old Trafford and the Aegeus Bowl through the course of this period running between 2025 and 2031. Some lovely quotes as well from Kate Cross, because there's the allocation of 5 white ball women's internationals, and Kate Cross, the Thunder and England bowler, said on the press release that's been issued, as Abbas comes in and bowls to Villas. Let's just run down through third man for a single. He's on to 25 now, 55 for 2. Kate says, I've always said that it will be a dream come true to play for England at Emirates Old Trafford, so I'm absolutely delighted to see 5 women's internationals are going to be played here in the coming years. With the additional funding and effort that's gone into the professional Thunder programme, I really believe that Lancashire are leading the way in women's cricket, and hosting international fixtures feels like the natural next step. So that'd be pretty special for Kate. Abbas in bowls, forward goes at Villas. Sorry, Bohannon. That's come off the inner half of the bat, just disappears out towards square leg for a single. The score moves on to 56 for 2, so Lancashire 84 runs away. Bohannon moves on to 20.
Terrific quotes. Yep, like that.
Yep. Sure, there'd be one or two other Thunder players, as certainly likes of Emma Lamb and Sophie Eccleston will echo those thoughts, and who knows, by the time the games come around there might be one or two others that might be in and around the England team as well, which is lovely. Velas waits for Abbas. It's fired in full and dug out by Abbas, and stopped by Abbas. He's shy at the stumps, or a little mock shy at the stumps from Abbas. It's a good Yorker fired in that. Velas got down on it to keep it out. Yeah, runs on 25, Bohannon on 20. These two did really well last night to settle things down, but this was a good ball sent down by Abbas. Bang, he did really well to keep that out. Blimey, that's an excellent Yorker, speared in. Really well played by Dame Velas, like a hand grenade heading in towards his toes. Flicks this one away through down to fine leg. Joe Weatherly does ever so well. That's a good stop by Weatherly at fine leg. Come back for 2, but it could easily have been 4 had Weatherly not got across the ground to field the ball.
I see 1 or 2 in the crowd were signalling 4 there behind Weatherly. The umpire was having a look. The umpire, Neil Wallander, decided that maybe 1 or 2 in the crowd were a little too eager with their signage.
58 for 2. Abbas to Villas. Getting that little step forward. He likes to have this slowly menacing little creep down the pitch as Villas. He drives to mid-off where Abbott fields, and there's no run. Remains on 27.
Well, it's 10 minutes gone, and apart from 1 player miss, it has been a quiet start, which is exactly what Lancashire want.
Yeah. It's a good ball, that, wasn't it, by Barker? But Bohannon didn't nick. Final ball of the over. Abbas into Villas. He's trying to run it down to third man, I suspect, but just picks out backward point where Fletcher Middleton fields, and that's the end of the over. 58 for 2. Bohannon 20. Villas on 27, so within 82 runs of a victory. Our Lancashire would, for what if they do get there, will be their first of the county championship season.
Just seeing Fletcher Middleton there pick the ball up. I did an interview with him last night because he's had a bit of a mixed game, it has to be said. But he brilliantly in the second innings for his 77. He's only young, 21 years of age, and Apologies if I'm repeating myself, but it is his first season in the first team proper. He played some 50-over cricket last year and a couple of the year before, left alone outside the off stump. But his game started badly, I think it's fair to say, when he put down Phil Salt. Very easy, catchable catch in the slips on 4, and Salt went on to get 100, of course, and then he palmed the ball in the slips into Liam Dawson's face and put him in hospital. He dropped another catch in the slip somewhere along the line and then got 0 in the first inning. So he had a horrible start to the game. And, you know, listen, you know, we never like to accentuate negatives, do we, when we're doing our interviews? But we have to ask the questions. As Bohannon pushes out on the onside. And, of course, yeah, I congratulated him on his 77 because that's a great effort. He did bat particularly well.
He did.
And, you know, it's only fair that you sort of mark that. And then I said, well, look, you know, let's be honest, you know, how much pressure did you feel under because of what had happened, what I just mentioned? He said, so I said, what about when you drop Phil Salt? I suppose it's one of those where you think, oh, I hope he don't get 100. And then he goes and gets it. And I said, what did you feel like? He said, I don't feel very good, if I'm honest. I felt awful. He was really quite good.
Kevin, you're asking all the killer questions.
Well, no, it was just funny to hear him say that, really, you know, because I just wanted to know how he felt. I guess we all knew how he would feel. Down the leg side, taken by Bear. And he said, yeah, I'll be honest with you, I didn't feel very good. He said, but my teammates kept me going, which was great. And I said, yeah, but then when you put your teammate in hospital, what do you think? I said, yeah, it went great. It's like, it was really good. And anyway, so that interview is on the Hampshire Cricket website if you want to have a look at that reaction interview, and also most of that on the @Solent Sport Twitter feed if you just want to have a little. He doesn't give long answers. He's a bit of I wouldn't say shy, but he's a bit like that with interviews. But you know, he gives you enough that he feels very personable. The ball's going to be changed, is it?
They're going to have a look at it, aren't they?
It's not doing enough, is it?
No.
We've had 13 minutes. It's not doing enough.
Oh dear!
Or has it gone back?
It's gone back. It didn't pass the bracelet test. So it's gone back to Barker.
Well, they'll try again soon.
Yep, sir.
Yeah, they'll keep trying. 58 for 2, so 10 runs have been added this morning. 82 needed. Quiet start, which suits the home side. Thank you also to everybody that's emailed over the last few days. We've had a lot of fun with the emails. Here's Barker. Outside the off stump, that's again a good carry, but left and it was a wide. Signalled wide by the umpire. And I did actually look last night, and I didn't realise just how many I'd missed. So apologies for those of you that emailed us and didn't hear yours read out. And I looked through some of them, and I thought, oh gosh, I can't believe I've missed that one. I really wanted to read that. So a collective sorry, really, that we read lots, but obviously not enough outside the off stump, left alone. So thank you for that. And those of you that have been listening quite a bit, hope you've had a bit of fun with them, because we have, haven't we?
We have. Yeah, there's been some very, very creative emails sent to us.
And some nice ones that I read last night, and I thought, oh gosh, why didn't I read that one out? Or how did I miss that? Sometimes a few drop at a time, and I don't know, they just seem to get buried. So I'd say, once again, apologies. Here's Barker. In again. Bohannon, again, happy to leave that one alone. Got an email here from Neil Halsworth, the Managing Director of Explorer Coffees. Other coffee companies available, of course. He says, morning team, this is solentcricket@gmail.com if you want to get some in this morning before we finish. Just tuning in for day 4, which could be epic or over very quickly. I found myself whistling to the tune of The Great Escape. What other theme tunes would be appropriate for today, says Neil. I found myself at some stage whistling I could be going home in the morning or something, whatever the song is. That's pushed out into the colours and there's no room. That's not happening. I won't be going till this afternoon now. Is that the song?
I don't know.
Something about the morning. I'll be da-da-da in the morning.
I don't know. No, not aware of that one.
No.
But I believe you, though. I'm sure there is one.
Oh, getting married in the morning. No, that's the wrong. That's the one I was thinking of. So sorry, that's the wrong tune. I've been married. Oh, gosh, how have I been married?
That's not a good start.
Hope my missus isn't listening.
She's given up on you already with that.
Yeah, she has. She's forgotten what I look like, actually.
Probably for the best. We're going to have some spin. So just a couple of overs of Abbas and Felix Organ coming into the attack. It was just 2 overs, wasn't it? Yeah, 2 overs from Mohammed Abbas from the Grosvenor Road end, and Felix Organ replacing him.
6 for 69 in the first innings.
Yeah.
Well, if he's going to do that again, it might have to be 6 for about 25 this time round.
So a short leg and a slip in place. Vincent slip and Fletcher Middleton under the helmet at short leg. Oh, he goes back. There's Villas. And tries to carve the ball away, but doesn't time it. And all of a sudden, Vincent slip and the keeper are kind of in the game for a little bit there.
He got away with that a bit, Felix Organ. I'm not sure why Villas missed that.
No. He bowls again. Oh, he's gone back and runs it down towards, or through gully. Joe Weatherly Fields, no run.
Oh, I tell you what, that's out of Barker's rough, that.
Yeah, it was a huge puff of dust, wasn't it? Burst up as a ball. You can actually see, if you're watching on the live stream there, you can see the footholds just outside Velas's off stump. That kind of little black disc. As he comes down the pitch and ball balloons off the pad and caught by Middleton, no run.
That's why he's kicking it away, because he doesn't know what it's going to do out of that. He has no idea.
Footmarks created by Keith Barker. And that's what Velas is keeping an eye on. Off the back foot again, that spins back into him. Tries to force the ball away, can't get it past Joe Weatherly.
Has that guy got enough ice creams in his hand? How many's in his hand there in front of us?
That's George Balderson.
Yeah.
That's an outstanding ice cream run, is that, isn't it?
Is this game over?
Looks to try and sweep it, Dame Velas.
Look at that, how many's there?
1, 2, 3. That's an outstanding effort. He must be great at a bar, George Balderson. Maybe he can come back with like 4 or 5 pints in one go, can't he? That's beautifully done. There were all sorts of flavours there as well, weren't they? Final ball of the over. Oh, that jagged back in again to Villas. And he keeps it out. Hampshire probably thinking, blimey, another 40 or 50 runs, and this is a very, very interesting fourth and final day. 59 for 2. As the ice creams are being shared out by George Balderson, who's done the ice cream run. Outstanding effort. There you go. That's yours. That's yours. Enjoy it.
Do you know what? I'm not joking. You know, I presume that's... I don't know who that's for. You can only assume... Let's just say, let's be fair, and it's for the coaching staff and the, you know, whoever's... If that was for all the players, what are they doing? Sitting back, having an ice cream, enjoying the moment. That would wind me up as a player. If I was out there now trying to win a, you know, one of the Hampshire boys, and I saw that Balderson's playing and missing outside the off stump, started with a new over bucket, and I saw, oh no, here look, Luke Wood. No, that's got to be the whole team.
Yeah, it's outstanding. That.
You know, that would wind me up.
I think, or maybe one for Liam Dawson here.
Dawson's talking to him. Look.
Yeah, you got me one, mate. No, I haven't. No. Get your own.
He's probably saying to him, I hope you choke on him.
Oh, I bet you were good fun to play against, weren't you?
That would wind me up. If I was in the field and I saw them all sort of laughing and joking and having an ice cream because they think they've won the game now, that would actually be a bit of a motivation, if I'm honest. Here's Barker. But Helen pushes that up towards mid-off.
Maybe they're just concerned that the ice cream van might go before the game before the game finishes and they're going to miss out.
That's actually wound me up, and I'm not even playing.
I can tell. You need to get out there and tell. Get the motivational speech.
I don't need to tell Dawes. He's a similar mindset. I know Dawes.
I just think he was asking Luke Wood there if he's got one for him.
He probably said there was not enough hundreds and thousands in there. I'd go back and get some more. You'd be shortchanged. Here's Barker. Bowling to Bohannon. Bohannon on the back foot, thinks about a single, but there's Abbott there pretending to throw. Got an email here from Stephen G. Brady.
Oh, yes. Stephen.
Yes, silentcricket@gmail.com. Get them in before the end of the game because Lancashire only need 81 here. Stephen says, I've thoroughly enjoyed the Three Amigos. Informative, in bracket at times, and the not so informative knowledge of the Northwest. Yeah, we've been testing. Well, the people out there have been testing Scott and Callum when he was here. Now, I was trying to drive that one, doesn't time that as that goes up to Abbott once more. We've been testing them out with their geography of the region. I especially like the food segment, Wigan kebabs being a particular favourite. I'm sure all listeners from as far as the glorious Isle of Skye to the Isle of Wight have enjoyed your brilliant anecdotes. Thank you, it's really kind. I hope we sign off with a Lancashire win this morning. Kind regards to you all. Stephen, who's an exiled Scot living in Cheadlehume. Do you know where that is?
Cheadlehume, yeah.
You know where that is, do you?
I know where that is.
That's good.
Yeah.
There's Barker. But Hannon steers that down to Dawson at deep backward a point. That'll be a single. Total moves on to 60 for 2. And 80 runs are needed. That's good. Well, you started day 4 off pretty well as well, actually.
Outrageous. I was under serious pressure yesterday to try and identify all parts of them. I mean, I've somehow some kind of encyclopedic knowledge of the northwest of England, knowing every town, village and hamlet that was being thrown my way. I can't wait to come down to Southampton again.
Yeah.
I'm going to bring a map with me.
Villas drives, found the gap through extra cover. That's rolling down the hill. That'll be 4. Is that the first boundary of the morning?
I think it is.
Good shot from Villas. Well forward. And Lancashire move on to 64 for 2. And Villas on to 31, but Hannon has 21. Lancashire not far away from victory now. There they are, enjoying their ice creams. Well, it's Luke Wood. He's not playing in the game. That's fair enough. Who's the other two there, Scott? On the live picture feed?
Jack Blatherwick.
Oh, he's playing.
And Sam Byrne, physio.
So Jack Blatherwick, get him in, get him back.
Well, if it gets to Jack Blatherwick needing to bat, then we're...
And he's had about 3 ice creams.
for a sticky afternoon if Jack's having to bat. If he gets that low down. 76 to win. Bohannon on 21. Here's Organ bowls. Carved away through the offside by Bohannon for a single. Mason Crane lurking on that far side of the ground, which is a little less populated today. Not the same numbers we've had on days 1, 2 and 3, but enough in, there's still plenty of people dotted about.
Yep.
Organ to Villa. Cries of catch as that run off the bat. Villas isn't for moving, the umpire isn't for giving it out. So the score remains on 65 for 2. It's ballooned off the pad and caught by Middleton at short leg.
Well, it's a bit difficult to tell in the replay, really. I'm not sure. But even so, the two look disappointed. But it is umpire Neil Mallender, which I'm just wondering. Maybe there's a little bit of pressure being applied on him because, let's be honest, he hasn't had the best game.
Organ to Villas.
Shot.
Yeah, swept towards the square leg boundary. Villas gets a single. Is that Ian Holland?
Yes, substitute fielder.
Moves to 32, Villas, 66 for 2.
Not sure who's off.
Organ to Bohannon. Turns back in. They brought Organ into the attack inside the first kind of 4 overs of the final day, and it's on the evidence of what we've seen so far. It's a good move.
Yeah, well, he's looking for that rough. Yeah. That's the patch, and that's the patch that's going to cause problems.
Slip and short leg. Down comes Bohannon, and that's driven away through the offside. Out through wide, mid off. And 4 runs for Josh Bohannon.
No, that's the way to play it. Get down there and get to the pitch of the ball. That's a great shot there. The pressure for Felix Organ here is obviously to aim for that rough every single ball. Get it in that rough every single ball. He's got to find the right speed to bowl it as well.
Into Bohannon, who goes back and cuts this time. It'll be worth a run for him. Scooped up by Crane on the point boundary. Bohannon keeps the strike as well. 27 to him. Villas on 32. It's the end of the over. 71 for 2. It's a 69 to win.
Yeah, he doesn't want to bowl it too slow because he doesn't want the batters to get down to the pitch of the ball. He doesn't want to bowl it too quick, but he's got to bowl a pace which basically prevents the batters from coming down. So by the time the ball's pitched, they're not quite to the pitch of it by the time they've worked out the line and length and what have you. So his dilemma is finding the right pace to bowl it. Fascinating contest though. The batters will probably feel against the off spinner that's their biggest concern. Kyle Abbott replacing Keith Barker at the hammer drive end.
Certainly a nice little battle to watch, that, isn't it?
It will be, yeah.
With Organ bowling.
And Organ's on because basically for Liam Dawson, that's the wrong line. It's out of his line. Forward and worked on the onside by Bahana. He's running the first one very quickly. They'll pick up 2. That's good running. Very good running. They realised that it was just to Mohammed Abbas's left. And there was a chance of 2. They went for it. 73 for 2, now 67 needed. No wickets that have fallen this morning so far. Yeah, and for Mason Crane, it's the same, really. You know, he's got to bowl it from fairly straight from over the wicket. And again, that rough's not in play. So for Felix Organ, the off spinner, that rough is the only bit there for any of the spinners to bowl to. That's driven back to Abbott. Does well on the fielding to follow through. So he's the only spinner that's going to be effective here at the moment. Mason Crane needs the pitch to be breaking up a little bit more, needs to be a lot drier. Otherwise, it's not really for him. I mean, coming round the wicket to a left-hander would be different, but there's no left-hander out there, so it's not going to work. And for Dawson, it's pretty much the same, really. So it's only Felix Organ that's the real spin option. Here's Abbott. Oh, that's a beautiful drive, but well picked up by Dawson. In the covers. I think everybody was looking towards the boundary for that one. Andy Girling has emailed sunandcricket@gmail.com. He says, under the theme music, not sure about The Great Escape, but in Neil Mallander's case, maybe Star Wars, The Emperor Strikes Back. Great commentary, says Andy, who's in Thailand. Abbott's at the top of his mark once more. Comes in again and bowls to Bahana. Bahana happy to let that one go. Tom Greenwood also emailed suncricket@gmail.com. He says, I've very much enjoyed the coverage and all of your commentary over the 4 days. I wish it could last longer, as when it ends I'm going to have to do the gardening the rest of the day, and I can't be bothered doing it in this heat.
I don't blame you. Leave it till next week.
Well, I'll just ask Lancashire to tone it down and try and drag out this last 67 runs. 15 runs an hour. Should just about do it. Here's Abbott. Bahana gets a full delivery, works it to mid-on. That's Joe Weatherly there under the sun hat. Joe Weatherly and Felix Organ. And Keith Barker with the sun hats on. Oh, there's some more ice creams coming round. More of the Lancashire contingent. How many of them are there?
I think it's a growing number. I mean, I think it does well to get over there and not melt. What's on there? There's all sorts on there. Flakes and different chocolate sauce, maybe strawberry sauce as well.
They do look nice, don't they? They enjoy themselves in the Lancashire dressing room.
Well, why not?
But Hannon gets a length ball that's worked to mid-wicket. Look like double helpers. Oh no, they're coming this way. Oh, they're going to be for.
Oh dear.
Oh, really? Oh, look at this.
Thank you very much.
Oh, what a star.
Oh.
And there was Scott saying, I can't believe that the Lancashire dressing room are ordering more, and they've come this way. Thank you very much.
Who we got to thank for these?
Thank you, guys. Beautiful. Who's these come from?
The Lancs team.
The Lancs team. They're listening.
Hope you choke on it. That's what they're saying, isn't it?
We better check what's in it. 73 for 2.
Marvellous. We'll lick away and commentate in between.
I've got to disappear for a couple of minutes.
Oh, thanks for that. You enjoy your ice cream. It's 73 for 2. In comes Organ and balls. Villas off the back foot, whipped away into the onside. Keith Barker feels at mid-wicket and there's no run. So Villas on 32, Bannon on 29. Organ balls again. It's driven out through the offside for a single. Crane comes up from the point boundary, so What's the equation now? It's ticked down to 66, hasn't it? 74 for 2. Organ bowls. Nice shot, punched away again through the offside. And there's Crane once more. The score moves on to 75 for 2. Keep an eye as well on the other games for as long as we're with you. I suspect one or two more will go a lot deeper than this one. That's muscled out through the onside by Villas. Off the back foot, slapped out to deep mid-wicket. Villas to 37 now. Rocks back and brute force and timing from Villas. It's a powerful shot for 4, 79 for 2. Tries to run it down to third, but picked up by Joe Weatherly at backward point, and there is no run. Yeah, there's games, certainly keep an eye on the other games in Division 1 in particular. Final ball of the over, this. Just offers the pad, Villas. 61 more runs to win here. In particular, this fascinating game at Canterbury, where Kent are playing Surrey. I mean, if Surrey chase these down, this will be one almighty victory for them. They're 278 for 3. Need a further 223 runs to win. Dom Sibley on 70. Ben Folkes on 27. And Jamie Smith making 114 and Tom Lather making 58. So there's a big run chase there for Surrey, but they've made an outstanding start. And they've got 7 wickets in hand to get 223 more to win to beat Kent. So game underway in play at Canterbury. Here's Abbott to Bohannon, who plays forward and defence. And the two other games in Division 1. Well, Somerset are 196 for 4. And they require 270 to win with 6 wickets remaining. And Nottinghamshire 273 for 4 in their second innings. They still trail Warwickshire by 143 runs, got 6 wickets left. Driven by Bohannon. Punches the bat in frustration a little bit there. Picks out Liam Dawson. And there's no run, 79 for 2. So yeah, we'll keep a little eye on those scores. There are 4 games in Division 2 as well, because all the scores and live text commentary feeds via the BBC Sport website and app. But it's been a really interesting round of Championship fixtures. It's been mainly, certainly in Division 1, one team is absolutely bossing each game through the 4 days. Abbott to Bohannon. That's a good looking shot, 4 runs, excellently played by Bohannon. Takes him to 34 not out. Guided beautifully down towards that 3rd man boundary. Played it late. In complete control of the shot. 34 now. It's 83 for 2. So within 57, Lancashire. Abbott to Bohannon. That's nudged out through the offside. He gets through for a quick single. And moves on to 35, 84 for 2.
Well, let Scott eat his ice cream. I've absolutely wolfed mine down in the last couple of minutes. And it's lovely. Happy to say there's nothing in it, or not at the moment anyway. If there is, it hasn't worked its way down yet. If you hear me stop commentating by the end of the over, you know there's a problem. Here comes Abbott. Oh, Villas is driving, but Barker can't quite get there at mid-off, and the ball is going to make its way over the boundary. And Lancashire are getting closer and closer here. That's a good shot there from Villas. I think Barker may just have got his fingertips on that, but it just got underneath his body. And Lancashire move on to 88 for 2, and they need just 52 to win this game. They started the day at 48 for 2, so it's been a good start of the morning for them. What have we had? About 35 minutes worth of play. Hampshire haven't had much joy, really. There's not been a lot to really get excited about, as that's gone through the fielder at short mid-wicket. That was Fletcher Middleton this time. Fortunately, Mason Crane's under the tree at the far end and does the sweeping up. And it's been a very quiet start from a Hampshire point of view, which is what they didn't want, exactly what Lancashire want. And they are not very far away now. Henry and Romsey. If you don't know where Romsey is, I do. It's just sort of outside Southampton. Henry and Romsey, silentcricket@gmail.com, says, have you picked up on the recent announcement that there will be an Ashes test at Southampton in 2027 and one against India in 2029? No, didn't know that. Ashes test? The GS Bowl? Henry, I'm only kidding, of course we didn't. It's great news. We mentioned that earlier, and of course Scott picked up on the allocation for the Old Trafford, which I have to say, when he read out his list for allocations at Old Trafford, was a lot longer than the allocation. Actually, that's unfair, because there's 35 days cricket as organ bowls, and it's cut away on the offside by Bahana. 35 days of cricket. International cricket at the Ageas Bowl between 2025 and 2031, including the Ashes Test, and a Women's Ashes Test in 2031 as well. And I think there's about 135 for Old Trafford, as that's pushed away out on the offside. And that's found the gap. And Barker slides into that one, palms it off to Mason Crane, and runs are starting to come a little easier now for Lancashire. Crowd appreciated the piece of fielding between the two. 92 for 2, 48 needed. Bohannon has 37, Velas has 43. Organ to Bohannon once more. Needs to find that rough a bit more and for something to happen. He's driving and missing outside of the off stump. And there is no run there. Organ wicketless at the moment, none for 23. The ball's misbehaving a little bit out of that rough, but perhaps not as much as he would like. Comes in again and bowls, and Bohannon's on the back foot. Steers that comfortably enough back to the bowler. Jeremy Anson has emailed silentcricket@gmail.com. Given the likely result in Southport, not so good for us Hampshire fans in brackets, says Jeremy. As Organ comes in and bowls, he's forward, and as he edged through to Vince, he has, and he's given out by umpire Mallender, and there's the first wicket of the morning. There was a puff of dust that came up as he pushed forward, and Bohannon goes for 37. The first wicket down, it's 92 for 3, and Bohannon makes his way, and Organ's picked up his 7th wicket of the game. Sorry, Scott's still cleaning his mouth from eating his ice cream. Apologies. No, I thought you were just ready to say something then.
No, I was just finishing the ice cream.
You're making everybody jealous now.
Sorry.
But I'm not sure how much that did. I need to have a look at that on the replay if it's already come up. Apologies, I was just writing something down there. But 37 for Josh Bohannon off 76 deliveries. Still 48 to win. Nothing to worry about from a Lancashire point of view there.
Here we go.
Let's watch. It's not done a lot, really, is it? I think he probably thought it might just come back at him a fraction out of the rough, and it didn't. And there's an example of, that's how the rough misbehaves. If it pitches in there, you're expecting it to do something. So you play slightly inside the line, and there, it's pitched in the rough, done nothing. That's what makes it unpredictable.
Nice little knock from Bohannon. I thought last night, actually, the way that Bohannon and Velas batted, it just seemed to calm things down a little bit. He's not obviously, I'm sure he's disappointed he couldn't go on and try and get the job done, but help to get the job done. But played his part last night, because that could be quite awkward last night. 5 for 2. Yeah. Felt like something could happen at any delivery.
Well, I think we're expecting Daryl Mitchell to pretty much start off how he started off in the first innings, very aggressively. Organ bowls, he's down the wicket, well down the wicket, and just works that into the offside. Long way down the wicket there, he was off. He's not going to let Organ bowl in him.
No.
And that is the end of the over. 93 for 3, 47 needed. Sorry, back to Jeremy Anson. He says, and the allocation of international matches, it's better. How about always look on the bright side of life? Thoroughly enjoyed the coverage over the past few days. Thanks to everyone involved in providing the live stream and also the commentary, says Jeremy. it's going to be Abbott again. It's going to roll to Daryl Mitchell. Now, Mitchell hit Abbott over wide mid-on, a huge 6. I wonder if he's going to try something like that again.
Here comes Abbott to Mitchell. Slashed away through the onside. Mason Crane up there for Hampshire. Mitchell gets through for 1, so he moves on to 2. 94 for 3. 46 runs away. Brings Dane Velas on strike. Got to say, from a Lancashire point of view here, this is lovely to see Dane Velas out there and scoring some runs. Should Lancashire go on to win it, it'd be great if he can be out there to see it through. Oh, that comes back into him. Oh, blimey. Oh, let's put the big man on the ground, is that? Well, that's kind of hit him in the Bahannans. Oh, dearie me.
Only Daryl Mitchell seems concerned. No, the Hampshire boys seem too bothered.
Well, Sam Byrne was on his way out, but to see if Dane Velas wants a cold drink, and Velas sends him back. I don't think he enjoyed that.
No, he didn't initially, did he? Flat out on the pitch.
In comes Abbott again, balls to Velas. Oh, plays that well. Again from that end.
Yeah.
Steers it down into the ground, stopped it in the slips.
You know, a 220 might have been interesting. 4th innings. It would have been very, very interesting indeed. .140. You can still ride out these little imperfections, can't you?
Halfway through, Abbott over. Comes in again and balls to Velas. Ball goes through to the keeper. Tucks the bat in front of that pad as Dane Velas comes down the pitch, and Mitchell comes to join him halfway. Comfortable over for Dane Velas.
I think actually the pitch has held pretty well, hasn't it? For 4 days under baking hot sun. It's held together very, very well indeed.
But from the Harrod drive end balls, Velasquez just meets it, little shuffle down the pitch, and then eases the ball off the face of the bat down through backward point for a single. Gives himself a minute to have a bit of a breather. 44 to Dane Velas. Top score of the season by some distance, this.
Rising to the occasion.
Yeah.
That's what you don't want to see as well, is it? When there's a low total, you don't want to see from a fielding side, but you know, guys getting their top score in such a tight situation.
Abbott to Mitchell. There isn't a run there. There's Felix Organ comes to his left from backward point to field, and that completes the over. 95 for 3. 44 to Velas, 2 to Mitchell, so 45 runs. Lancashire from this position to go on and secure their first victory of the county championship season.
Daryl Baines, he's emailed solentcricket@gmail.com. He says, "Good morning, gents. Just a quick message to my dad, John, who I know is listening. He'll also be counting down the runs, as he is a big Lancashire fan. Dad has great memories of watching Lancashire and has often told me the same stories twice." That's what dads do, don't they? Here's Organ. Come back to that in a minute as he bowls, and that's come back out of the rough. It's a little slow, isn't it? I suppose I'm trying to find all sorts of reasons that Hampshire might actually have half a chance here, but I think ideally you just want it to be spitting or do something out of the rough just a little quicker. It's almost giving the batters time to react sometimes. Velas faces Organ once more, and that's too short. Velas easily rocks onto the back foot and steers it out for a single. 96 for 3. He's particularly fond of Dane Velas, as during lockdown myself and Dane organised a surprise call for him. Dane was brilliant. He was brilliant in going through with it, and they had a great chat about the crazy world that we was in during that time. As Organ comes in and bowls to Mitchell, Mitchell again on the back foot and steers that into the gap in the covers. They may look for 2 here. They're going to take 2. Crane throws. Have to hurry. Good running. Throw not quite as accurate as it might have been, but even so, I think the running was more than good enough. Mitchell moves on to 4. 98 for 3. 42 needed. Hope Lancashire get over the line, says Darryl. And happy Father's Day, Dad, for Sunday. Much love. It's very nice to pass that on. Walker down the wicket comes Mitchell, and he pushes out in the gap. No, I'm not going to get 2 here. Oh, they are going to take 2. They're going to take Crane on. Float, though, comes into the bowler's end. Wow. That is very, very aggressive running indeed. Fellas, I know he's very quick, but Mitchell, it's a good contest between the two. I'd like to see them both over about 40 or 50 yards.
You've got to be quick, yeah, when you're batting with Dane. He's not sluggish.
No, he's not, is he? No, you can see he's a live wire the whole game, isn't he? Very out on the field. He's very, very on it. He's down the wicket here, Mitchell, and works that back to the bowler. Dancing down the wicket there, the New Zealander. 100 for 3. Lancashire in their second innings. They now need just 40, having started the day needing 92. Going again to Mitchell. Goes for the reverse sweep, and that's gone down towards third. Hasn't really got hold of it. And only 1 on this occasion. Weatherly after that one. And very busy, both these batters out there, making the bowlers work hard. 101 for 3 at the end of that over.
Yeah, that was a busy over, that wasn't it? That's some really good running there by Lancashire. Just being busy and proactive and quite aggressive between the wickets. Just saps out a bit of energy again, doesn't it, from Hampshire? And
yep.
they just ran well, force 1s into 2s, and just ticks away at that total that's required. 3 wickets, 1 for Barker, Abbas, and Organ of the 4 bowlers that Hampshire have used. Some lovely hanging baskets here at Southport and Birkdale. But in balls to Mitchell. Oh, I think that may have caught Mitchell this time.
I just think when you see what's happening this morning, just maybe the odd sign of the wicket just breaking up a fraction. I just think 220. If only Hampshire could have got 220 in front.
Had that one partnership, Middleton and Gubbins, and then a couple of starts. Vince had a couple of partners, couldn't get one of those to go on and do something similar to what Middleton and Gubbins did. That's pushed away into the offside by Mitchell, but for no run. 130 odd, I think, wasn't it, between those two, Middleton and Gubbins, and then there was a couple of 50 partnerships. Vincent Dawson, I think, put on 50 odd.
Vincent Dawson put on 57, you're right, yeah.
There's one more, wasn't there?
134 between Gubbins and Middleton, and 54 between Crane and Vince.
Crane and Vince. Just needed one of those.
Yeah. The damage was done, as we've said, in the first innings.
Abbott to Mitchell.
Oh.
It's glorious from Mitchell. It's gone for 6 out towards the wide long off boundary. He did it to Abbott in the first innings. And he's trying to repeat it second time round. God, he plays that shot well, doesn't he? Darryl Mitchell. Bang, back over the bowler's head. Lovely follow through as well.
That's a serious shot, that is. Abbott's no slouch.
He's hit. I'd have to dig out the stats. I might do it for the next game. How many 6 he's driven straight Mitchell since he's been with Lancashire? It feels like plenty. Oh, that bounces down towards Brown and Vince. They scamper through for a leg by. Again, that must have just come, but done a little bit. Flick the pad of Mitchell down into the ground. Scampers through for a leg by, remains on 13. 108 for 3, so 32 to win. He's been some player to watch, Darryl Mitchell.
I bet. Does he play? I mean, is he no different in T20s? I mean, he hasn't toned it down about much in the Championship.
Abbott to Velas leaning forward, and the ball played down towards backward square leg for a single. 46, 109 for 3. This is just his second Championship match. Made his debut in the last game before the T20 started. Got a ton, I think, on debut.
Looks a good player, isn't he? He's a more than useful bowler as well.
He's had a couple of good stints with the ball. I thought he bowled really well in the defeat at Yorkshire in the T20. Actually, he was probably a standout bowler for Lancs in that defeat. Final ball of the over, and Mitchell doesn't offer a shot. It's just banged a little shorter, and it's through to the keeper again with a good pace and carry. Completes the over. So 109 for 3. Everyone's ducking into ice creams now.
I think there's more ice cream sold today than I've seen over the previous 3.
It's a panic about the prospect of missing out on an ice cream before it disappears. 31 more runs required to win.
Ed Vokes has emailed solocricket@gmail.com, says, great coverage from Southport. Shame about the impending result, though. If Surrey chased down 501 today, as is looking possible, I think we should all go home and come back next year. That's right. I think they're going to win the title, doesn't matter what anybody else does. They're a good side. Well forward is Villas, and it's just hit the pad. There's a puff of dust. As seen once more when the ball pitches. Great news about the award of an Ashes Test at the Ageas in 2027. Very well deserved. And congratulations to all at the club. Hope you enjoyed your ice cream. So I certainly did. Oh, he's on the back foot there, Villas. Just turns that down to third. The race is on there for Joe Weatherly, I think that is. And he's, the ball's won that one. Racing away over this fast outfield, which has been baked in this hot sun. And that is 50 runs for Dane Villas. 73 balls, you heard there. 5 fours. That really did race away. Very hard outfield now. And Lancashire at 113 for 3. Need just 27 more to win this game as Organ comes in. Villas kicks that away. The bat's well behind the pad. Vince is shouting at first slip. There's certainly no attempt to play at that one.
Chuffed to bits for Dane Villas. It's a really good knock, this. He's not been in any form really this season, but this is a fantastic response.
It is.
The former captain.
Yeah, the good players, they will give something, don't they, even if they haven't been in the best of form. That's turned away on the leg side. It's these sort of challenges, isn't it, sometimes, you know, when you actually, a run-of-the-mill county championship game, you walk out, you're not in good form. You know, I mean, it's not great being out of form, but when you come into a situation where you know you can make a difference and win the game for somebody, it somehow just brings something out of you. And Villas has risen to the challenge here. As Organ comes in again and bowls. Villas is on the back foot, plays that into the ground on the leg side. Got an email from Des Platt, who's in Rain Hill. Do you know where that is? St Helens? Do you know where St Helens is?
I do.
But not Rain Hill, that's obviously a suburb of Rain Helen. For St Helens. Obviously both mean nothing to me. As down the wicket comes Villas and he strikes. Oh, it's coming this way. Hang on. Where are we going? Oh, it's just hit the picket fence in front. That's a good shot. And that's 6 runs, signalled by umpire Neil Mallender. A little bit worried there for a moment. Got on this hard ground, that would have bounced over the picket fence. Yeah. And that could have been very interesting indeed. 6 runs. That's a great shot, coming down to meet the pitch of the ball and just go with the spin, hit it on the leg side.
Yeah. And
the lady doing a crossword didn't even know a thing.
No. It's like a thunderbolt of lightning, wasn't it? Very, very frightening at times, that, for spectators in the crowd.
So very quickly, Des says this very much reminds me of the last day at Egbert back in 2021 between these two sides. I remember Lancashire made a really good start to a small total, and being very relieved that Vince didn't bring on Crane and persisted with Abbas, who for once was ineffective. When Crane came on, he nearly won the championship for Hampshire. That's right. They were 1 ball. They were 1 wicket and 2 balls away. And before Dane Villas brought out that sweep shot. And he would have done it had he been on for 2 more overs earlier. A lot of people are saying that. We haven't seen Crane at all this morning.
No, just Felix Organ, and his 6-over spell comes to... Is it you or me?
That's you.
It's me. It's Abbas coming in to replace Abbott, actually, from the Harry Drive-in. Sorry. That's pushed for a single for Mitchell. He moves on to 14.
Yeah. I've got another email here from Mike Vokes who says, why is Ed Vokes not working? I've absolutely no idea. I'm not his boss. He says, however, I do agree with his comments. I can't remember his comments, but anyway.
He's a bass. To Villas, that's worked out through the onside for a single. Again, just a half step forward and back comes across the pad. Villas calls for a drink. Takes the runs required into the teens. 19 to win. Villas to 57. 121 for 3. Brings Mitchell back on strike. Bass with a stronger breeze to battle today. Comes in to Mitchell. It's down the leg side. It's been caught down the leg side, and Mitchell goes for 14. And Mo Abbas picks up his second wicket. Lancashire lose their 4th. Daryl Mitchell at the man out. Caught down the leg side by Ben Brown. Umpire raises the finger. And Hampshire pick up their second wicket of the morning. 121 for 4.
A little bit unlucky. Always unlucky when you're caught down the leg side like that. You think that 1 or 2 balls that have just bounced a bit off a length and just nipped back a little bit because maybe the top is starting to break away a little, and he gets strangled down the leg side like that. Second wicket of the morning, but with just 19 needed, I'm afraid I don't think Lancashire will be panicking just yet. 121. It's 121 for 4, isn't it?
21 for 4, yeah. 19 to win.
Good catch, Ben Brown, low down. But a good... I think with Daryl Mitchell, he certainly... well, this game would have been over quite quickly. Probably just as well, but only 19 runs left. It's not really a problem.
The game at Surrey, they're still progressing nicely. They need 207 more runs to win. Sibley 73, folks on 36. So 7 wickets left, 207 to win for Surrey. Canterbury. Somerset still 4 down, 217 for 4, require 249 to win. Essex needs 6 wickets. Rob Jones, new batter. Appeal for LBWs. Jones flicks or shapes to work it out towards the leg side, which is what he does for a single. Towards square leg, 22 for 4. And the other Division 1 game is Nottinghamshire trying to hang on against Warwickshire. They're trailed by 124 runs at 292 for 5 in their second innings. Dame Villas, Lancashire captain, is back on strike. Here's Abbas to Villas, swatted down toward backward square leg. Pulls the ball away to a fine leg, actually, where Abbott fields. Ticks up to 58, not out. 123 for 4. As we welcome some new listeners. 5 Sports Extra joining us at Southport and Birkdale Cricket Club. With Lancashire 17 runs away from their first county championship win of the season. Abbas to Jones. The ball goes through to the keeper. There's no run. Lancashire have lost 2 wickets in the morning session. Bohannon and Mitchell, 2 men out, but Dame Villas, their former captain, who's not had the season I'm sure that he would have liked. He's 58 not out. He's played a really good knock here. The top score of the summer for him so far. And a partnership with Bohannon late last night, and then through the first little parts of this morning, has kind of effectively got Lancashire into a position where they're closing in on the first win of the summer in the championship. Yeah.
Lancashire, of course, unbeaten anyway this season, and Hampshire already lost 2. Here's Felix Organ. Bars, and oh, that spat a little bit at Villas. And Villas was trying to cut that away. Not the ideal shot, really, when the ball is turning into you out of the rough a little bit. It is an area, really, that you shouldn't be looking to play too often. You are taking a bit of a risk. That's why Hampshire have left a bit of a gap there on that offside square. Because they kind of would like to see him playing. He's doing it again. And, It's just gone behind square on the offside, no run. It's quite interesting. I mentioned about the losses because Dave Allen, Hampshire's historian and archivist, messaged me last night actually about losses, and I did say that, you know, teams that lose even 1 or 2 struggle to win a championship. That's turned away on the leg side. That'll be a single for Villas. Dave then sent me a list, and he says you have to go back 10 years to find any champion side that lost more than 1.
Wow.
And that was back in 2010, where Durham actually won. I lost 4 out of 16, but obviously they won quite a few that year. But yeah, the last 10 years, sides either didn't lose any, or just the one that won the championship, which is quite interesting. And this will be Hampshire's 3rd defeat. So make of that what you will, as that's a slog sweep out on the onside, and that's going to be 4 runs. 1 bounce into the advertising boards. Not long now for Lancashire to wait. Rob Jones moves on to 5.
Nice shot from Jones. Good looking sweep for 4. Lancashire nudging nearer to victory.
August, just the one. Sorry, Scott, just the 1 wicket in this innings. 6 in the first. Another sweep shot there, and that's going for 4 more along the ground. Ian Holland can't get to that one. Nice striking here from Rob Jones. Just 8 runs to win. 132 for 4. Jones very quickly moves on to 9. Felix Organ has 1 for 49 here. It's quite interesting. Dane Villas has very rarely got the sweep shot out to Felix Organ. Jones straight away. Down the wicket and hoiks that over, back past the bowler. And that is 4 more, but he's not hanging around. He's trying to finish this game as quickly as he can. And it's just 4 runs to win now at 136 for 4. Jones is 13 off just 5 deliveries. And Dane Villas, steady as you go at the other end. That's a great shot if you're watching the live picture feed. Probably did just about pitch in the rough, but it didn't really do a lot. Jones got close enough to the bounce to be able to hit through the line. And we are very close to the end of this championship game then. 136 for 4. Villas has 59. The batters out this morning. Josh Bohannon for 37. Having been 16 overnight. Daryl Mitchell for 14. Villas was not out overnight, 23. Here he is facing Abbas on 59. Works that away on the onside for a single. 3 runs needed. 137 for 4 now. Lancashire. Brings Rob Jones back. I wonder how he's going to play Mohammed Abbas. Very, very positive against Felix Organ. Slightly different, of course, because Mohammed Abbas is just slightly above medium pace. 2 for 25 for Abbas in this innings. Good figures from him. As he comes in and bowls to Jones. And Jones works that back to the bowler. And there is no run. Well, it's another beautiful hot day here in Southport. Apart from a little bit of respite yesterday afternoon where there was 1 or 2 clouds around which the sun went behind. It's been wall-to-wall sun from the start of this game till the end. And set for more of the same after we've all long gone at some point this afternoon. As Mohammed Abbas comes in again. Bowls to Jones. Jones forward. Plays that out into the covers where substitute fielder Ian Holland fields. And Scott, I think I need to hand it over to you.
Yeah, well, it's a 3, isn't it? 3 more to win. Jones has come out, hasn't he? And played shots. Yeah,
hurried it up, hasn't he?
Yeah. Great chance for Jones. He's not played too much for Lancashire so far this season in what is a pretty tough first team to get into, whether it's the Championship or the Blast. He's pushing forward at that delivery from Abbas. Sneaks through to the keeper's gloves, Ben Brown. And there's no run.
I'll quickly get through some emails before we get right to the very end. Linley Owen, thank you. Says, excellent coverage from Southport. Thanks to all concerned. Also, Paul Edwards' daily written reports are gems in the fine tradition of John Arlott. Please pass on my thanks to him. We will do. We'll see him shortly, I'm sure. Three
away. Jones on 13. Abbas from the Harrod drive end to Jones. That's clipped off the pads down to Barker at fine leg for a single. Takes him on to 14, 138 for 4.
Martin Jeffrey says, just like to say how much pleasure that you brought us with all your cricket commentaries, and particularly enjoyed the banter between yourself and Scott. Thank you. It's very kind.
I've not enjoyed it.
No. Bothered.
Villas on 60. He's the man on strike, and Lancashire are 2 away. And that's run down to third man. That'll be 4, and that'll win it for Lancashire. And lovely that Villas, who's been out of form all summer, hits the winning runs to claim Lancashire's first win of the season, much to the delight, clearly, of his teammate, Rob Jones. A victory for Lancashire, their first county championship win of the season. And a victory by 6 wickets, with Villas unbeaten on 64, Jones on 14. It's been a year since Lancashire last lost to championship matches. They've gone 14 successive championship games now, unbeaten. And they've won for the first time this summer in a game which, in truth, they have dominated, despite Hampshire's fight back with the bat in their second innings. That performance on day 1 with the ball to bowl Hampshire out for 142, and then to have built such a sizable first innings lead, even with a Hampshire fight back, was too much for Hampshire. And Lancashire secure a victory, a 6-wicket win.
Yeah, terrific stuff. And Lancashire fully deserved of the win. It was just too much for Hampshire to do, coming back from the first day and a half. And you know, really, were Lancashire really tested in that second innings? Nowhere near enough, because 142 or 140 to win was never really going to be enough. But Dane Villas, class always comes through. He might have struggled a little bit this season, but he's still, as he's proved today, a very, very good player. Yeah,
class comes through, and he's a class act, is Dane Villas. And nice that he kind of leads the team off, and they celebrate their first win of the county championship season. And it's been a really good 4 days, and I know we mentioned this a while back, but thank you to everybody at Southport and Birkdale Cricket Club. And I mean, basically everybody, from the very top to everybody involved in putting this game on. They've been absolutely outstanding, and it really is a pleasure to come here and watch championship cricket. And I've not yet really come across anybody who's been here for the 4 days that hasn't said something similar. So thank you for all your hospitality and your fine work. But a win for Lancashire to complete our coverage. 142 for 4. What's up next for Hampshire, Kev?
Hampshire are going to Hove on Friday night for a T20, so I'm very much looking forward to that. But can I just echo my thanks to everybody here as well? It's been an absolute joy being here. It obviously helps because of the weather, but just the way everybody has helped. And the coverage, I have to say, the coverage both on the BBC Sport website and specifically Lancs TV is great. It's great that Colin's back, although we weren't able to. Well, apparently he told us it was good that he was back. Right. No, it's been great, and it's lovely to have a bit of chat, and I enjoy working with you, Scott, and well done to Lancashire.
Cheers, Kev. The next live cricket on Lancs TV will be this coming Sunday from Emirates Old Trafford for a game against Durham in the T20 Blast. That's Lancs TV's next live coverage of Lancashire's men's team will be on Sunday, live from Emirates Old Trafford in the T20 Blast against Durham. I'll catch you at Northampton on Friday evening on the BBC Sport website and app for Lancashire Lightning's next T20 fixture against Northants. But from Kevin and myself, and from everybody that's been involved in the coverage over the last few days, from the whole team behind Lancs TV, victory for Lancashire, and enjoy the rest of your day.